guitar fiend. So if you're hooked into social media at all and are a guitarist in one way or another, I'm sure you've seen this video in the last few days of a line of hundreds upon hundreds of Firebird X's, oh, the very popular Gibson Firebird X, being run down and completely crushed and destroyed by construction equipment. If you have no idea what a Gibson Firebird X is, you probably have good taste. Jokes. So, first and foremost, what is a Gibson Firebird X? It is to guitars what Metal Zone is to pedals. It is the meme style joke that we all like to have a dig at. So let's take a quick look at this bizarre entity. I can see what they were trying to do. They were trying to make like a retro futuristic thing. Something that looked like what people thought the future would look like in the past. Something like the Jetsons or Lost in Space. Now some guitars do retrofuturism really well. My favorite amongst them all is the St. Vincent guitar from Music Man. This pretty much nails the aesthetic of a retro-futuristic guitar. You can imagine it in a catalogue in the 60s saying, "A guitar of the future." But let's talk about actually what it is. From the get-go, you've just got a straight-up 3-pickup Firebird style guitar, flamed maple fretboard too. Pretty damn good. Maple neck. Now here's a weird choice, an ash body, which for Gibson is very weird because there are only 2 Gibsons that come to mind when I can think of ash, being one, the Music City Les Paul Jr. and the Swamp Ash version of the Les Paul Studio. If you're going to mix ash, maple neck, flame maple fretboard, you're looking at quite a bright present instrument, which is a really interesting choice for Gibson, and I would like to have tried that. I would very much like to try that. Of course, like a lot of Gibsons at the time, it has that E-robot thing on the back of the headstock, a nice little shaved away access heel on the neck. More of this, please. Yes, yeah. But this is where all the normal for a guitar stops, and then it just turns into insanity. This guitar, how do I say it, is meant to be like a space station of tone. You're meant to have all the tone that you would ever need to be able to access already within the guitar. I see what they were going for. Now, you can switch between single coils, humbuckers. There's a piezo system in it, so you can do crazy acoustic stuff, and some of the acoustic sounds are pretty damn good. The actual sound of this instrument is pretty cool. It sounds present, rich, and with a lot of attack. So basically all these different knobs will switch between what type of effects you want to use, effects that are built on board into the guitar. And there's some faders on top that will control the different parameters of the effects, albeit the amount of delay repeats, the body size of an acoustic guitar, the amount of distortion, the rate of a flanger, blah 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 blah. But now after that quick little look at the specs and what this guitar actually is, let's talk about the history here a bit. Look, this thing was hated from the get-go. This thing was more hated than the prequels in Star Wars. This came from the fact that obviously guitarists can be real traditionalists. When Kemper and Axe effects come out, every guitarist wants to rag on it. When 7 strings and 8 strings started getting popular, every 6-string player was saying, you don't need that, you're not going to use it. Progression within the guitar world technologically is really, really slow. You also got to remember that at the time that the Gibson Firebird X was released, you're dealing with Muse being a massive band, and Manson Guitars releasing the Matt Bellamy signature from Muse with the Chaos Pad and built-in ZVEX effects. That was a real cultural idea at the time, this progression of pushing guitar as far as we could, because that was what you were doing at the time. You were testing things out. The big problem with this was that they tested it out at a $4,500 price range, for one, and I know that they would have been super excited. Whoever designed this guitar didn't think that this was going to simply be another guitar in their range. They designed this with the idea of it changing the game. Yes, innovation. And instead of keeping it a bit simple, they went to quantify it and organize it into a degree which just made it inaccessible to a lot of people. But all that being said, I respect wholeheartedly that they went out and tried it. They actually tried to do something. They actually tried to do something new, which is more than a lot of guitar companies can say. As a straight up guitar, they sound pretty good. They sound direct, they sound very precise, but Why is it that they destroyed 400 odd Firebird X's? That looks unfortunate. Now, these guitars were most likely destroyed because they would have been claimed as a massive financial loss for Gibson, and in order for them to recoup from the insurance company, they would have to destroy the property, thus making sure that Gibson cannot continue to sell off these guitars that they are receiving insurance money for. Regardless of the fact that it's kind of funny because they're the funny guitars that we all laugh at. People spent days upon days making these guitars. Someone put their career on the line to create and design it, and not to sound like Captain Communism, but is there nothing else they could do with 400 well-constructed high-end instruments? Could they have not donated it to a bunch of high schools with very low budgets that could have used a really amazing instrument for their music department? Now I know what you're thinking, oh, wouldn't you hate to be in high school and have that? No. If I rocked up one day back in high school and all of a sudden there was a Gibson, any damn Gibson there, that I could play, that would have been amazing. It would have been my favorite thing in the world. I would have loved that. Even if they sold them off for $1,000 a piece, $500 a piece, that would have netted them a significant amount of money. That this is actually a loss. As much as we want to laugh at this and then click on another video that takes us straight to someone putting 700 Metal Zone Boss pedals in a Holden Astra and blowing it up. Actually, that would be pretty funny. Now, I'm not sure how many Firebird X's there were originally, but I don't think it's that many. 5,000? Maybe 5,000 of them? And correct me if I'm wrong, let me know in the comments. If you have any idea how many there are, let me know, because I would be very curious to know. And obviously something's rarity adds to its value, and I can't help but think that 20, 30 years from now, these are going to become some bizarre and interesting obscure collector's item. I can't help but watch this video and be a little bit pissed off about it. And not to get all hippie poetry about it, but to me it represents the commodification and commercialization of guitars as just another product. And I really don't like that. That's not a thought that I'm happy to have. I don't really want to look at guitars as just a product. I am a guitarist. I have an affinity with guitars that goes beyond just a tool. And we all want it to do the job first. It has to be good at being the tool it is. But people develop such emotional connections because of the music you write on it. And whether you like the innovations done on this guitar or not is kind of irrelevant, because the fact is that it was inventive. It was very creative. It wasn't a solution to any problems people needed solved, so it never got picked up. But they still tried, and I can't fault them on that. So that's enough from me anyway, ranting in my room on a Friday afternoon about guitars getting run over by construction crap. If you have any different opinions on this, please let me know in the comments. I'd be curious to hear what you think about it all. Click like, click the bell, click subscribe, yeah, oh. I don't know, I never know how to end these videos. I never know how to self-promote either, so I just get sarcastic.